Welcome to At the Cottage with me, Chef D, my good friend, Chef Aaron Klein, where we're trying to play shuffleboard and we're not doing so hot, are we? No, but we're better at making some pasture-raised chicken.
Yeah, pasture-raised chicken with some local chanterelle mushrooms.
But also too, you did something really cool with corn.
I did, yeah, I made a corn porridge.
Okay, and we have a few more surprises for you. Hey, won't you join us at the Cottage with me, Chef D?
Yo, check this out.
Hey, Chef D here with my good friend Chef Aaron Klein from the Windermere House. We're in the grounds, beautiful grounds here at Windermere. I'm going to be doing some simple grilling chicken, but you're going to be doing something really cool over on this side. Not that grilling chicken's not cool.
Grilling chicken is very cool, especially outside in this landscape. We're doing a hamachi crudo.
Okay.
So I'm going to get that ready to go while you get our pasture-raised chicken breasts on the grill there. A little bit of oil and Vancouver Island sea salt there. So we have this beautiful hamachi. So this is a varietal of tuna, yellowtail. This is a sashimi grade. So this is actually on the menu in the Rosso. I'm just going to clean this up quick plate presentation. We're going to do a little bit of our chili crunch oil, which I'll get actually started first. So we got oil, that's not too hot. We're going to actually take this off the grill. Anytime you're cooking on oil, you want to either turn the stove off when you add ingredients in case it pops up too much. Mm-hmm. Fires are a bad thing, and
100% they are.
After 96, we have a little bit of PTSD on that, so
exactly.
want to make sure we steer clear. So we're going to add a little bit of shallots and garlic to that oil.
Yes.
We're just going to let these fry until they get nice and crispy.
Okay.
And what we're doing is we're allowing those to get a little fragrant, a little bit crispy, and then we're going to add in our chili flakes. And you can add in as many chili flakes as you want. You can make it as hot as you want.
100%.
So this recipe is actually in the back of my cookbook.
Okay, and can you just explain for those of you who don't know, you wrote a really cool cookbook because you traveled the world.
Yeah, I traveled to, just pre-pandemic, traveled to 25 countries. My wife and I, we did all over Asia, Africa, and Europe. And one of the recipes that made it to the cookbook, which is Travel, Eat, Repeat, a culinary nomad journal, is this chili sauce.
Okay, and so how can we get this cookbook other than, coming here to Windermere House and seeing it?
It's for sale at all of our outlets. So we have Windermere, the Cambridge Hotel and Conference Center, online, blurb.ca, through Amazon, through me direct, through about a dozen retailers all through Waterloo region.
Cool.
So yeah.
Cool. Getting the oil, and the oil will probably be about 180 degrees here, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hot. Again, that's why you want to take it off so you don't have it spill over. And then we've just got this going. We're going to fry this. It takes about maybe 5-6 minutes. Then we're going to add the chili flakes, a little bit of salt, sugar, some smoked paprika, sesame seeds, and soy sauce.
Perfect. I'm just going to check on our chicken here.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm actually grilling it skin side down. I want the skin to be crunchy. The other thing you want to do is make sure that your barbecue is on medium to just about medium high, because if you get too hot, it's between 700 and 900 degrees. So bring it back down to around 350 and you're going to be golden.
Putting a chicken breast in Mount Vesuvius, I think that's...
Right?
All right, so I'm going to take down this hamachi here. We're just going to leave the belly. So we leave the belly actually for Chef Key. And Chef Key is our sushi chef on site. Best sushi in the Muskokas. Or Muskoka. I did get corrected on that the other day. So we're just going to leave that belly for him to make some sushi out of. And this is the piece we use for the crudo. So
amazing.
We're actually, just take the skin off here.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's a gorgeous piece of fish that we really enjoy using. Really big seller for us. Nice fresh, and we pair that with a couple of things here. So we got a tare vinaigrette, a little bit of black bean sauce, some aji furikake we bring in from Japan. So we're just going to cut a couple of nice pieces here.
This reminds me, Chef, of being in Barbados. We get to go to the fish market on a regular basis when we're down there, and getting some fresh tuna is always a great thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can't beat that.
No.
We get this brought in, we get all our seafood brought in 4 times a week, a lot of which is flown directly to us. All right, so we got a little bit there, good to go. Okay, I'll take this here. And what we're going to do here, we got a little bit of a tare vinaigrette.
Yep.
So this is a mix of a little bit of bacon, matsutake shoyu, and a little bit of mirin. And we're just literally gonna just kind of baste this fish.
Yep.
Just so we get a little bit of flavor, a little bit of acidity on there. And then we're gonna get those on our plate here. Okay. So crudo literally means raw.
Okay.
So that's why we use the sashimi grade here.
And so where did this recipe come from? Like, I know it's in your cookbook, but what region of the world did it really come from?
It's inspired by Japanese cuisine. And we kind of mix a bunch of elements from there. So that's how that's why we bring in the pickled ginger and the aji furikake and the tare, which is actually an addition to ramen. So you go to a ramen shop and they have 20 different kinds of ramen. Well, they only have 1 or 2 broths, and they have these things called tares, which they actually add to get your miso, shoyu, those kind of flavor profiles. So our garlic is just starting to brown up in our...
Yep, it's looking great, by the way, and it smells amazing.
Okay, so we're...
one day, smell-o-vision. One day, smell-o-vision.
Soon enough, hopefully. I'm going to add the chili flakes to it now. And I like mine a little bit spicy, so I add about 50 grams of chili flakes there. That's going to take another 2-3 minutes tops. So while that's kind of going, what we'll do is we'll just finish kind of garnishing this plate up a little bit.
Okay, perfect.
So we've got our salted black bean sauce, which has a little bit of 5-spice, salted black beans, a little bit of soy sauce. We just kind of dot that around a little bit.
Love it. I love your plates, by the way.
Oh,
you know, if you're missing some plates when you go into the kitchen, you know where they are.
I'm going to have to inventory these, I think, before you leave, Chef. We got the aji furikake, which is a Japanese sesame seasoning.
Okay.
So this one's made with actually nori, which is seaweed, a little bit of yuzu, dehydrated yuzu. So it adds a really nice kind of punch to the plate. Gives you a little bit of that acidity and a little bit of the crunch from the sesame seeds. So we just put a little bit on each piece there. Okay. We're going to finish here. We got a little bit of the pickled ginger. Oh, it's coming along beautifully.
I know,
We're about a minute out on that.
So these ingredients, can you get them at your local grocery store, or is it more of a specialty store that you're going to?
These ones exactly, we bring in a lot of specialty products. You can get very similar products at your local Asian market or Japanese specialty store. There's a couple places in Toronto.
And maybe even bring them up before you come up with your cottage. Just make it part of your arsenal in your kitchen.
100%. And because you can get a piece of fresh fish like that, this literally takes, as you can see, this takes seconds to prepare. You can do this chili sauce ahead of time, store it in the fridge for a month. It lasts for a long time.
Okay, I'm just going to go back to my chicken. Again, it's pasture-raised chicken. So, you know, when you're looking for chicken, you always want to get air chilled or pasture-raised, where it's not going to be pumped full of water. So we're gonna keep a good eye on it. We don't want to overcook it, as it's going to dry out. For those of you at home that want to, you know, take the fear out of it, grab a meat thermometer. 180 degrees is words to live by, and away you go. So I'm just going to move these over to the no heat area.
All right. So we're just about done here. We're just going to add our smoked paprika, some sesame seeds, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar.
Why the sugar?
Sugar just balances out a little bit, gives you kind of that full umami. So you're adding soy, you're adding salt, you have garlic, you got a little bit of heat from the chilies. It just gives you that full kind of umami balance. And then this is where you have to be careful. So you're going to take it off the stove. We're going to add a little bit of soy sauce to it. It's going to bubble up. Make sure you do this off the stove.
100%.
That's going to cool it down.
Or even like, and you know, just because you're at the cottage doesn't mean you have to be indoors. Please come outdoors, cook outside. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah. As soon as that settles down, it is done. Good to go. And this, as I said, in an airtight container will last a long time.
Mason jars work really well. And we know we all have those.
Oh yes, many. More than I should, I think.
Right.
Just gonna take a little bit of that oil. Now again, you probably want this to cool out just before you get there, but we're gonna just add just a little bit of that chili oil on there. Just around the plate. And then we're gonna add a little bit of our microgreens here just to garnish. So we got these beautiful pea sprouts. All these.
Oh, those pea sprouts are fantastic.
They all come out of Huntsville, so we get them from a producer there. Same with the micro flowers. A lot of our red vein sorrel or anything like that all comes out of that same farm.
And I just love how you and your team have made it a priority to use the local purveyors, local growers up here. This is fantastic. And just seeing that, you know, when I always think of cottage country, I think of cottages, but this is really great to see all the farmers and people really doing some really cool things up here.
There's so many of them around,
Yep.
and honestly, they're at a lot of farmers markets. There's farmers markets about 5 days a week.
Yep.
If you go around from Bala to Huntsville to even if you want to get down to Barrie to Port Carling. So I mean, there's one almost every day. Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's just a nice, easy hamachi crudo.
Amazing appetizer, and away we go. So I'm gonna let my chicken rest.
Yep.
We're gonna make a corn porridge.
Yep.
And we'll be back in just a minute.
Yo, check this out.
Hey, it's always great to meet local people within the community. I have Mayor Peter Kelly here, Mayor of Muskoka Township.
Township of Muskoka Lakes.
Perfect. Okay, so how many people does that incorporate?
In the summer, about 40,000,
Yes,
perhaps.
yes,
In the
exactly.
winter, maybe 4,000.
All right, right. So being mayor, coming on board 6 months ago, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's exciting for me. I never saw myself in a political role. I have a very different background in private industry and in law. Lived up here as a permanent resident in retirement for 4 or 5 years, and decided that I needed to get engaged and get involved to solve problems that I thought existed
Yeah.
in our community.
And you know, we've been going to different farms and everything around here. It's really cool to see the change, because when you think of Muskokas, you always think of cottage country, but there's some great farmland and great things happening up here.
There's lots of great things happening up here. There are, obviously there's lots of construction, there's lots of building. There's the typical tourist retail work that's being done, which and by typical I don't mean to put it down in any way. It supports a big chunk of the economy. But there's been a renewed interest in hospitality, accommodation, food. I think there's this whole market to table movement that has driven a whole lot of interesting farm activity or agricultural activity, and personally even among people who have never been on the farm before in their lives, who are working hard to find a better way to raise the sustenance that we need to survive. So.
And do you find that now, you know, going through that little thing that we went through a couple years ago, do you finding that more and more people are maybe coming up and spending more time up here because they can do their remote into their offices?
That's absolute. And one of the restrictions is once you get out of the larger centers in the township, access to Wi-Fi can be poor and spotty at best. And that's one of the big goals that we have to try to help the local economy, is to make sure there's a full-time, strong Wi-Fi access for every resident. But yeah, absolutely. In fact, in the last 2 or 3 years, and this is a survey of one, so it's not terribly scientific, my sense is that on a proportionate basis, the value of off-waterfront property has gone up as fast or faster than on waterfront. I think there are a lot of people choosing to live remotely from the big urban centers because they can.
Well, Mayor, thank you so much. And I know this is a really cool thing that's happening here at Windermere House, kind of rejuvenating a grand hotel that's been part of the community for hundreds of years.
Literally, a fellow by the name of Thomas Aiken, first in 1860, settled on this property, came from Scotland. I understand the first few years were pretty sparse. I think he put people up on these grounds in tents, people who came here to hunt and to fish. Eventually saw the opportunity to grow it into a business. This facility was completed, I think, in around 1870. And it was, and it always will be, an icon for wonderful accommodation, terrific food in the township of Muskoka Lakes.
Again, thanks so much for spending some time with us, and continued success.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, and enjoy your stay.
So now we're working on our chicken. Our chicken's been grilling. I have it now on to the cool side of the grill, and you're going to be making a really cool corn porridge, right?
Yeah, yeah. It kind of tastes like some buttered popcorn
Yeah,
when you're done.
yeah.
But it's perfect. We're getting into the corn
100%,
season,
right?
So we got first of the season, really sweet peaches and cream corn. We just took it off the cob.
Yep.
And what we're going to do is we're just going to saute that with some shallots and a little bit of butter.
Perfect.
Pinch of salt. Finish it with just a touch of cream and a little pinch of tarragon and some Parmesan.
And so we have some Tobin Island chanterelles.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
A forger comes in and has been working with you folks.
Yeah.
So we're just going to break these up. I'm going to add a little bit of tarragon to them, and then I'm going to put them on my grill. And we have some Ontario white asparagus, which is absolutely gorgeous.
It is. It's really nice, really
Right.
sweet, really crisp, and then the scapes go perfectly
Right?
with it too.
A little bit of fresh tarragon, a little bit of salt,
Vancouver Island sea salt.
right? We're going across country.
Across country.
Again. I just love the color on these. These are fantastic.
They're beautiful, beautiful, bright and orange, nice and clean. They're very good. Go really well with the tarragon there.
I love it. And I love also too, the forgers that come and say, hey chef, here we go. We get that a bit.
Oh, they come out with the ramps and the
Right?
escapes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite time of year. All right. Just gonna do
And like you mentioned earlier, there's a ton of markets here. Please check them out because you're
Yeah.
going to get product like this,
100%. Yeah, there's almost no need to stop at a conventional grocery store when you're up in these
Mm-hmm.
areas. You're headed to your cottage. Stop up at a produce stand on the way up. There's a bunch of meat purveyors on the way up that do great product as well. So to start the corn porridge, we're just going to saute up
Yep.
some shallots here. And then once those are translucent and a little bit fragrant, we're going to add our corn in.
And I just love shallots as well. How nice and sweet they are. I think they're the most underrated of all the onions we ever use.
Oh, 100%. And they're one of probably the most primarily used ones in the kitchen. Right?
100%.
Yeah, everybody goes for a white cooking onion. The shallot's got so much more
Yeah.
natural sweetness to it.
100%.
We're going to add our corn in there, and we're just going to let that cook off
Okay.
until it gets soft.
And now because we are using vegetables and they're a little bit more delicate, you want to keep your eye on them versus, where the meat you can kind of go away and maybe grab one of those cold beverages
For these, you bring your cold beverage with you.
or that too. You know me well, chef. You know me well. Oh yeah, our mushrooms are grilling nicely. I have our chicken resting. I'm just going to take our chicken off and let it rest for about 2 minutes before we cut into it.
I was just thinking too, probably with these, if you wanted to even grill your corn
Right.
before you took it off, you get a nice char flavor to that.
Again, change it up. Recipes are truly like roadmaps. There's more than one way to get here, and trust me, if you're with me, you know that.
All right. So we're just tenderizing the corn a little bit, and then we're going to add a little bit of cream. Mm-hmm. And then
35% cream.
35%. Yep. So just a little bit to kind of stew that together, and then we're going to let that cook. It only takes about 2-3 minutes. So you're getting kind of that creamed corn feel.
Yep.
Sometimes what I'll do is I'll hit it with an immersion blender just to tighten it up a little bit, but we're going to just let it cook down naturally here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of Parmesan cheese at one point.
Yeah, we're going to finish it with just a little parm just to tighten it together. And then that'll be kind of the main base of our dish. We'll put those nice mushrooms, the asparagus, the scapes, and then that chicken breast. And I got a little bit of hen jus that will...
It doesn't get much better than that. I'm going to grab the plate. I'm going to just get our mushrooms and our asparagus going.
Perfect. Oh, wow. Look at that. I think you've done that once or twice, Chef.
You know, and this is what's so great. You know, when I was working up here in the Muskokas, I worked for Weber's. We had 2 sit-down restaurants, and we always cooked it on the charcoal grill. And it gave me a really big appreciation for, you know, grilling, for the barbecue, and I just love it. And we all know how much I love playing with fire.
Yo, check this out.
I'm here with Jason and Martin, and owners of the Windermere House, but also B Hospitality, Cambridge Hotel, and then a hotel in Naples, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how did this all start? Like, 'cause I know there's a great story behind you're both brothers. So how did you get into this game?
Well, back in the early 90s, Marty and I went to University of Guelph from Walkerton. We're from Walkerton, Ontario, a small town, and we went to live with our dad, and we ended up moving out, and Dad helped buy us a student rental.
Guelph, we're University of Guelph grads, so moved into Dad's basement at 18, 19 years old. And hey Dad, we're here.
How do you like me now?
So then when that wasn't so great, Dad helped us move out and buy a place, and we lived in the basement, rented out the rooms, and you know, that was pretty good. We thought, okay, well, we got a couple of buddies, and we went up the street and bought another house, and we went down and bought another one, and we were doing the lawn cutting, and we were doing the financing, the buying, the finding the houses, and then we got up to 52 of those houses in Guelph. We were riding our riding lawnmower around town and doing all that, and then we just made a transition into buildings where, you know, 52 houses had 52 lawns and 52 roofs, and one 52-unit apartment building had 1 lawn and 1 roof, and so we moved on and transitioned into apartments.
1999 we did that. We said, you know what, let's figure this out, let's make a company out of this thing. And then that was the year Skyline was born, and that's our investment, you know, real estate products, everything that you come to know.
And then how did this property come about? Because this is a grand old lady, and I don't mean that in any derogatory term.
No, it's beautiful.
Right? The bones here are fantastic.
So my wife and I have had a cottage up here for the last 3 years. So not a long time, but long enough to really get that feel and really get that the magic of this place. And I'm sitting, my iPad's open, I see a news feed come along that Lady of Lake's for sale. And like I'm on the phone with Jay and Matt, who's another Skyline partner of ours that has a property just up the way around the bay. And kind of put together a team with what are we going to do? But you know what, we got to get this, because it's everything that we're real estate guys. We've got this hospitality team, and this is an iconic property. How do we bring the magic back to it? And so it was just, okay, let's do it.
Gentlemen, thanks for your time today. Thanks for letting us come up and kind of invade your space, and much success to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
See you at the pub later.
Okay, yes.
Okay, very nice.
And I just see that our sauce here, our corn is just tightening up nicely.
Yeah.
It smells fantastic.
I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of that Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yep.
And that should help us tighten it up a little bit.
I love parm.
I do too. That's why it's kind of like firewood. When you think you have enough, double it.
100%, right?
I'll just get a little bit in there. I know I said a little. I know the viewers at home are going, oh my, but as soon as you try this, you'll know why.
Exactly.
Right, so there we go. That's tightened up. Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Look at that.
Look at
and
that.
And then we're just going to warm up our hen jus there.
Yep.
That's going to take just 2 seconds, but we can get the plating started now.
Okay.
Put a little bit of this corn just on the bottom there, just like that. Got that beautiful chicken. Yep.
Right there. How's
Right in
that?
there. Perfect. Look at that.
Look at that.
And then we just got some of these nice mushrooms here. We'll just kind of put
And I got
them-
some more fresh. I was cooking some more, chef.
There's never a bad thing with chanterelles.
Right.
There we go. Perfect. And just a little bit of that hen jus. Just put a little bit on the edge there. There we go.
And you break down your chickens here, and you use the bones, and again to make the jus, and is everything. It's amazing what you're doing back in that kitchen.
No, I appreciate that, Chef. Yeah, it's the guys put in a lot of work. So even the whole halibuts that you see in the other episode there, and you know, we'd try and use every bit to, you know, impart flavor in the dish and just make sure we're kind of a full, you know, tip to tail restaurant.
Love it.
So yeah, anyway, we got a nice, so that is your pasture-raised hen breast with Tobin Island chanterelle mushrooms, Ontario white asparagus, some Ontario corn porridge, a little bit of hen jus, and some grilled Ontario scapes there.
Hey, till next time, I'm Chef D. You never know what cottage I may be showing up at.